The thermometer outside Alexei's small wooden cabin reads -55 degrees Celsius. At this temperature, the air feels like sharp, unforgiving glass. Every single breath burns his lungs. Every step he takes on the freshly fallen snow sounds like it might be his last. This is the reality for Alexei, who lives alone in the desolate far north, a place where the sun vanishes for weeks on end and the silence screams louder than any storm. People always ask him the same question: why? Why would anyone choose to live here? For Alexei, the answer is heartbreakingly simple. This frozen, empty land is all he has left. You see, years ago, Alexei wasn't a recluse. He was a teacher in a bustling city. He had a warm, comfortable home filled with the sound of laughter and the love of his family. But then, one cold winter night, a devastating fire ripped through his life, taking everything from him: his house, his most cherished memories, and the beloved voices that once filled his days with joy. He didn't move north to start a new life. He moved north to disappear from the one he had lost. Here at -55 degrees, survival is a constant, demanding ritual. He wakes up long before the first hint of dawn to feed the fire. His hands, wrapped in worn-out gloves, still feel the frost biting through the cracks in the leather. Water freezes in mere seconds. Food becomes as hard as stone. The cold is a relentless enemy, always waiting for a moment of weakness. One night, a violent snowstorm raged outside, the wind howling like a hungry wolf. Amidst the chaos, Alexei heard a sound. It was faint, almost swallowed by the wind. It sounded like a cry. He hesitated for only a second before pulling open his cabin door. The cold attacked him instantly, a physical blow that stole his breath. Squinting through the swirling white blizzard, he saw a small shape on the ground. It was a young boy, barely conscious, lost and separated from a research group. Without a second thought, Alexei rushed out. He wrapped the child in his own thick coat and carried him back inside, his own body trembling from the sudden exposure. For hours, he fought against the cold, against his own fear, and against his shaking hands. He shared his fire, what little food he had, and the warmth he had been hoarding, the warmth he had been hiding from the world for so long. By morning, the storm had passed, and the boy was alive. He was weak, but he was safe. Rescue teams arrived later that day, guided by an emergency beacon. As they prepared to leave, they thanked Alexei profusely, calling him a hero. But it was the boy who left the biggest impact. He held Alexei's hand tightly and said in a soft voice, "Please don't be alone anymore." That night, the temperature outside was still a brutal -55 degrees. The wind still howled its lonely song, but for the first time in years, as Alexei sat by his fire, he felt something warmer than the flames. It was a feeling he thought he had lost forever. It was hope. Alexei's story reminds us that even in the coldest, most desolate place on earth, a human heart can make a choice. The cold can freeze our bodies, but only we can decide if we